Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta have a little fun with it, right? Hey guys, my name is Jakeb Livengood, your host of the Living Good with Jakeb Livengood podcast. Today we are back, another banger. All right, we talk about a lot of subjects here, but today's is gonna be about personal development, and this one's a specific topic, close, near and dear to my heart. Okay, I want you to get so friggin' boring that like your closest friends are saying, dude, you're a loser, man. Okay, now what am I talking about? All right, let me first share. When I was both my parents are in the airline industry. They have been my whole life. And when I was 15 years old, we had a foreign exchange student from Belgium come and live with us for like 5 weeks or so. She was a year older than me. She was 16. I was 15. And I'm 27 now, right? So 12 years ago. And she just came and visited and stayed with me for 7 days, a whole week, okay? Again, like I said, a year older than me. She's 28. I am 27. She lives in Belgium. I don't know if you're aware geopolitically or socioeconomically where they fall as far as, you know, classification of their government structure, but it functions a little different over there, okay? And now, all that is to say, the reason why I'm giving all this context, okay? Look, she's 28, and, you know, I get it. You're on vacation. You're in a foreign country. She wanted me to take her out, go clubbing, you know, the whole shebang, go tour the town, get some drinks, party it up, right? And I was like, hey, look, you know, I love that for you. That's awesome. That's like the energy, the vibrational frequency you're in. But me though, like, I'm like an old man. I'm gearing down to go to sleep at 7:45 p.m. I get up at 4 a.m. every single day that ends in Y, which by the way is every day, including weekends. I don't take days off. I'm building an empire. I've got a lot of things riding on me. My DMOs don't stop just because I want to take the day off. Okay, that's not how it really works. I'm in my process of entrepreneurial development. And she was like, wow, like you really grew up and became boring. Like, you're so boring. She even said I'm the worst host ever. And I was like, ah, man, I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I can't be like a better host to you. Right. But you know, I also was like, look, you know, I understand your perspective, but actually, like, you don't realize that is the biggest compliment ever. I know you're trying to like just make a playful dig at me. Oh, you're so boring. But like, actually, I take that straight up as a compliment, right? Because to be boring by following the principles that I'm following in my life, actually what you're really saying is I'm unordinary. I'm outside the ordinary, or what you could call extraordinary, right? And actually, the life that I have described for myself that I'm building intentionally every single day, even when I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel and all the pieces of the puzzle aren't lining up, is extraordinary. And if I want to have an extraordinary life, I have to do extraordinary things. I have to be an extraordinary individual, right? And so I call you to be boring, okay? Be super mega boring. Do the same things every day. Do things that are willfully and intentionally building you towards your dream reality. Get up at 4 a.m. Do an ice bath every day. Go to the gym every day. Sit in front of your computer. Draft out and create content that's building your personal brand around your passions and your hobbies. Do clerical work that moves forward your business, right? Don't go out clubbing. Don't go out drinking. Cut all social circles that aren't moving you forward. If you're not having conversations about faith, about business development, personal development, leadership, how to grow better, working out in the gym with an old buddy and catching up, you know, double dipping on your time, you can goof off a little bit, right? You can have a little bit of extracurricular time as long as you're still being willful and intentional with that time, right? If you want to just shirk around and goof off and catch up with an old buddy who might not be like focused on personal development and business development in that same capacity, and they want to talk about sports and the weather and politics and whatever, maybe catch up with them at a gym, right? You're both getting a lift in, you're getting a session in, so you're actually double dipping on your time. You're having your little goof off time while you're also doing personal development, building your temple at the same time, right? I'm all about that, right? Optimizing my schedule. And it's like, wow, like I I love it though, because I'm 27 and I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 19. I was VC funded. I had a tech company. Now I'm just building my stuff. And it's like, yeah, I understand that someone that's in a capacity of normalcy will see my life and go, dude, you suck. Like, what do you mean you do the same thing every day? What do you mean you don't have friends that you hang out with? What do you mean you don't rave or party or club or anymore? What do you mean you don't drink alcohol? What do you mean you can't go get some fast food with me and just veg out, smoke some weed and watch a couple of movies? Like, what do I mean? What I mean is I'm playing the game of life in decades. You're playing in weekends, right? You want to figure out how you're going to find fun this week. I want to figure out how I'm going to find fulfillment in 2 decades, right? We're not playing the game of life the same. And if that makes me boring because I'm using delayed gratification to such an order of magnitude that I just sacrifice every single day. I don't even understand the concept of fun anymore, quote unquote fun. Like I don't want fun. You go have fun. I'm going to build my life. And in 2 decades, when I'm doing whatever I want, whenever I want, because whatever I want, because I've built a lifestyle and a business and an empire that allows me, it affords me that opportunity and that ability. And you are working your job. Maybe you do love the job, but you're working a job to make ends meet and pay your bills and uphold your lifestyle. Like, don't complain to me about how, oh man, like, back in the old days, like you were all locked in and I was just living willy-nilly, having a great time, and wow, like how the roles have switched. I don't want to hear that, because like, you know what, another thing that goes along right alongside this topic of conversation, when people say, you think you're better than me, right? Or holier than thou attitude, which is something I've caught a lot from, especially the flow arts community. When I was building selflessly a company in that industry, sacrificed my entire life to build a niche passion art form that I loved personally from an artistic perspective, but also from an entrepreneurial perspective. And I figured I could be the one to help catalyst growth that could allow other people to monetize this, right? And the holier than thou, you're holier than thou, you think you're better than me. I don't think I'm better than anyone at all, ever, in any form and capacity. However, as I've discussed in a previous episode, I may be more valuable to the marketplace than you, right? So I'm not better than you, but in the marketplace, I'm better than you because I understand more things. I execute at a higher level. I have higher, more in-demand skills than you do. So to the marketplace, I'm more valuable than you. That doesn't mean I'm inherently more valuable than you as a human being. And right, so when someone says, you think you're better than me, I don't think that, you think that, and that's why you're projecting it onto me. And to go a step further, actually, in some form and capacity, when we go over that analogy a couple decades later, you're partying, you're vibing out, you're having fun, you're goofing off. I'm boring, which I call you to be. I'm boring doing the daily rigmarole that, honestly, I'll be honest, some days I'm bored by myself. I'm like, bro, like I'm so locked in, I'm not really, you know, the time's passing by and it's for greater tomorrow, but like some days it's dreary. And that's just what it is, right? That's a sacrifice I make. Some days the sacrifice, which is the same sacrifice as the previous day, feels heavier, right? But we're playing this decade game. And so to go over that, you know, 20 years later, I'm free, you're not, right? And you're going, you think you're better than me. Actually, you know, to some capacity, because I was willing to make those sacrifices and you didn't, like inherently as a human being, we're still the same. But in the marketplace, there's a reason I have the lifestyle that I have and you have the lifestyle you have. So yes, in the marketplace, I'm clearly better than you. And I don't even think it's reasonable, rational, or acceptable for you to insinuate that you're equal to me in the marketplace. And it's just unfair in life. Oh, life, ooh, boo woo, life's so hard that I have this life and you now have this opportunity afforded to you. I don't even want to hear that come out of your mouth, because that's myopic. You're a psychopath. You have lost all semblance of reality, because yes, I have the life I have because I made sacrifices over an extended period of time, decades, that you weren't willing to make. And while you were partying, I was building and learning. While you were staying out late, I was reading books, going to bed early so I could get up at 4 in the morning. You're dead asleep, probably about to start nursing a hangover in the morning. I'm up, I'm active. I already did 5 minutes in 33-degree water. I went to the gym for 2.5 hours, did 15 working sets, destroyed my body so that I can build it back better. And I'm locked in, sitting at my desk, working on clerical work that's gonna move forward my business when you're waking up and taking Advil to go ahead and nurse that hangover, right? For years and years and years. You're having fun. I'm having focus, right? So in 2 decades, I dare you to say to my face, life's so hard, it's not fair. You have the life you have, and I have this, and it's just so hard for me. No, I sacrificed. You did not. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Be boring. It pays off to be boring. If someone in your social circle, listen to me now, listen very carefully. If someone says you're boring, they're trying to make a little petty, playful dig at you, right? To try and coerce you or use social engineering to try and like get you to go along with whatever they're doing, whatever that may be. Smoking, vibing out, just chilling, letting off the gas a little bit. If someone says you're boring, that is the greatest compliment they could possibly bear to you. Look at it this way. When someone says that, you're boring, look objectively at their life. Do you want their life? If you don't want their life, brush it off. They complimented you because they're saying the direction, the course of direction that is set upon my life, my objective reality is that what you're doing is boring, which actually means what you're doing is the right thing that leads you towards a optimized, intended, willfully built and designed future reality. Be boring. I promise you, it pays to be boring. Okay? All the big people that are changing the world on a global scale, they're boring. You think when Elon Musk was absolute bare bones basicing it all the way through PayPal and literally living on a couch, sharing a tiny little spot with his brother, they're taking turns sleeping on a futon. One of them's coding while the other one's sleeping. The next thing they switch and they're still working. It's working 24/7 all the time. They're living in a tiny little area. Do you think that that was fun? Do you think that was fulfilling? No. That was a sacrifice that was made, and it was necessary to forge the life that you see him living now. And that's just one example. Every single person that is a meaningful, specific, and not a wandering generality has had to make these sacrifices. And it is going through, it is trekking the course through what is known by Andy Frisella's term, no man's land, or how I like to refer to it as the valley of despair. Okay, and that's a whole nother episode that I'm going to film very shortly. But guys, you gotta be boring. I'm telling you, being boring is the best thing for you. Your 20s, contrary to popular belief, right? And anything that's popular belief in today's modern society, probably just think about what that is, determine what the exact polar opposite is, and do that. Because, I mean, we live in an extremely divided secular world that is literally controlled by Satan. And I mean, dude, you're being walked down the path to the slaughter. You're the lamb to the slaughter. You need to take a hard left and get off that path and build an intentional path that's going to lead you towards righteousness and salvation. Okay. And that's not going to be the easy path. I'm sorry to tell you, but being boring in your 20s is what you need to do. You need to lock in. I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear. I'm sorry if that hurts your ego. This is not the time to be goofing off, living it up, YOLO. You got to make these memories that are going to last your lifetime. Really, because when I'm 40 and I'm traveling the world on my G550, my private PJ that I own because my business is doing tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars annually, and I need a tax write-off, and I'm going and jumping on my yacht to go to Turks and Caicos because I'm bored and I have my businesses set, automated and scaled, and then I do a board meeting with all my homies on the boat, okay? And you're working your desk job because you're trying to make ends meet and support your family. I don't want to hear it that, oh, well, you know, back in my early 20s when I was doing all these raves and, oh man, those were the days, the glory days. No, dude, I did the same thing. My early 20s, I spent a lot of my time raving, partying, doing substances, having a fun, living for the world. And it's like, bro, that's not my peak. Like, just wait on it. When I'm 40, I'm going to be literally a serial builder mogul. Hello. Come jump on. Jump on. Let's go. You need me to come over a little bit? For those of you that aren't on the, oh, she just jumped off. My cat's playing with me. It's all good. Hello. They wanted to see you, but you jumped away. Look, I'll surmise it, okay? Because I'm saying a lot of the same stuff, just in different forms and capacities. I seek to be as boring as humanly possible, because I know every day that I make the choice to make a sacrifice, to choose my future rather than my past or my now, and it's the future that I've willfully designed on this board right here, I know that I'm inching forward towards that destiny that I have preordained. God gave me those visions because it's preordained for me, right? And that's the difference between the people that say you think you're better than me and other people, right? I don't think it's possible for me to fail, because I'm not coming from a maybe I could try this, or maybe I could figure this out, or maybe I could be something more than I am today. That's not the modality I'm operating in. I am operating in a modality that the dreams and visions put into my mind by God were put there for the purpose of their fruition, because it's preordained for my life. I don't see it as a potential opportunity, a potential branch future that I could make happen if I'm locked in. I see it as my moral duty and obligation to actualize it, because it is destined for me. It is my purpose, right? It's not an option. I see my current reality just as a launch pad to where I'm going. Like, that's why the quote unquote sacrifices that I have to make on a daily basis don't feel like a sacrifice. It literally just feels like what I currently, at my current level of conscious awareness, know to be true, that are the steps, the bricks that I'm laying every day to move me forward towards that future that I have preordained for me. I see it as destiny, not happenstance, right? That's why I can't fail. Literally, like, I could go in a huge parabolic downtrend, like worst of the worst, retracing off of support lines, right? And I'm using trading analogies, but my life could digress substantially, and I'd still have the same chipper, optimistic attitude, and I would just view it as a tribulation, a test to forge my character, so that when I get to where I'm going, I have the right character and peace of mind and sanctity of mind and strength within myself, in my own character, my righteous indignation, to be the man that can abstain and hold those blessings forever, right? Like, my tangible results of my current reality have no bearing on where I'm headed at all. Like, they don't change my mentality. So absolutely, yes. Like, I'm boring, and I love that for myself. And I'd love it for you too. I think you should do it. Anyways, this one is key. It's just key. Dude, my podcast is just shy of a month old right now. Sorry. 1 month and 3 days old right now. I believe this is episode 20, I don't know, 23, 24, something like that. Not a lot of views right now, okay? My biggest episode had 40 views. Most of them get between 3 and 7 views, okay? I'm so fired up, because these are going to be here forever. Success leaves clues. These are little fragmented keys that are just going to be sitting here forever, so that when I get where I'm talking about, where I've visualized, where I've documented and said publicly that I'm going to be back in 2018, I'm not even there yet, but it's all there. It's all public. Success leaves clues. You're going to be able to step back into my life and watch the journey unfold as it is, and see how my brain was functioning and operating at times that it was, so that you can see and understand how I got to where I was. That's why I'm so fired up. I don't really care. My next 500 podcast episodes could all get 0 views, and I'd be absolutely fired up. Like, I'm input driven, not output focused. I don't really care if nobody watches this, because in the future, people are going to be watching it. So, bro, be boring and just be a meaningful specific. I love you. Have a beautiful day.